I'm a Washingtonian, Oregonian. Oregonian. I think that's what I. Washingtonian, Oregonian.
Oregonians. Yeah, that is what it says. Jeez
I don't know,
Louise.
man.
Oregonians. That's
Randy.
that's a new one. Why do I still have Turtle on solo? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Well, Turtle, you definitely did your thing on the paint job for your car. I like what you did. I can only give you I can give you 2 suggestions.
Please.
Actually three.
I want everyone.
Suggestion number 1. Whenever you get ready to paint, make sure you check your masking before you spray any paint at all. Before you, every time, like in between every coat, check your masking. That will prevent it from lifting. Number 2, once you put your masking down, before you spray your first layer of paint, run a hairdryer across your masking and push it down each part. Once you run a hairdryer across it, it's gonna make it a little flexible, and it's gonna make once you run your finger across it, it's gonna form and go in every little crack and every little crevice, and it's gonna prevent a lot of that overspray. Next suggestion: continue to use light, thin coats. Don't ever go thick. Once you get enough paint on the car, you still gonna be able to see through the car regardless.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be able to see through. You're gonna be able to see through it regardless, as long as you can't see white light through it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
bro, man, with that Mustang, man, dude. I'm telling you,
no,
panicked.
I'm saying like you literally gonna be able to see through the paint regardless. Like
What up? Sorry, this is lame. Usually we go at 7:00. Christmas Eve, popping in to say hello. I'm probably gonna wrench on something. But my buddies were just getting wrapped up over there at Urban Legend RC. So I don't know if they'll come by here or not, but that's kind of why I was just checking them out, because they're going to be done.
Translucent.
So I don't know if you can see this. Look at the edge by the door handle, and you can see even with the heavy blue. Hold on, let me bring her in. Even with the heavy blue,
so that's what's up.
You can hold on. You can still see. You can still see the backer. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see the backer right here on that hard line. God, it's really hard to see on camera.
Oh, I can see it a little bit.
Oh my God!
It's like light. It's like light.
You see that white?
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
You see it? So I mean, if I would have hit it with the white, it would have been that way, and I missed with the blue. That's why it's like that.
Oh yeah. See, let me tell you something, Turtle. That's why you put you get a light, hold it up to a light, like in between your layers. Before you put your backing up there, I hold it up to a light to make sure. I mean, because you're gonna be able to see light through it, right? Regardless. But I'm just saying, outside. as long as it's one color, you know what I'm saying, and not like splotchy.
Hold on, doesn't that look sick though with that little stripe with the handle?
It looks like it's made like.
I know. I think it looks legendary.
If you wouldn't have told me that, I would have thought you put a stripe down the like try to put a little.
I know.
What'd you call it? Holographic design type stripe down the side.
I know, but
Lasso Kid, I see you. Appreciate you. Lasso Kid said, "What did he say?" Hold on, it went too far. He said, "Hey, Merry Christmas." What did he say? Merry Christmas season. Greetings and Happy New Year. May it be filled with happiness and lots of cool new RCs. Absolutely, you too, my friend.
Shout out, brother.
No problem. Issues. What do you say? Beatlaw said, all right, making the rounds. Flyboy Zoom for a bit. Happy holidays, Fun Zone. Yes, sir. Happy holidays to you too as well. Randy
Happy
said,
holidays.
Lasso, our man
All
from
right,
down
I'm
under.
turning this off.
Absolutely.
They were on their way out. I popped in. And all right. So what up? Yeah, I think Christmas stuff is happening with little elves behind me. So last night I was working on the speed hop ups of the pre-runner number 1. I got them done. I got them installed. I ran it today and I got 38.6 miles an hour on smaller, a little bit smaller tires. So I think, and there were cars in the street today, so I'd be careful. So I think with the bigger regular, tires, I put smaller tires on because they're harder and they don't balloon as big. And so I think I can get 40 out of that car with the right tires. And normally we go at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, but it's Christmas Eve. So I got off early today in Mass. I went to Mass with my wife and kids. They're officially Catholic. I'm not. But Jesus is Jesus. I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Some of it's a little weird to me, got to be honest. But that's okay. That's okay. And I wanted to come by and see you guys on my normal night, Wednesday. But when we got home, I'm not going to go do a live stream while the kids are awake still on Christmas Eve. So I didn't. So now everybody's asleep, and except the queen elf. And so I'm up now. And, chilling. And no one knows it right now, and that's okay. Because there's other streams going on. Ty's still on. Ray, I think, is on. It's Harley and what's his name? Josh and Matt are still on. So whatever. I'm going to actually be working on RCs, though. How about them apples? So the parts that I was waiting on, I didn't have yesterday. I showed up today. So diff covers are going on. Wheel hexes are going on. These extra axles. And I'm thinking about making a crawler, go figure, on a short wheelbase. Because I have a little body I should use. 50 degrees. I know, dude. I want to go out and run tomorrow, because I'm back to work regular on Friday. I work today, and then back to work regular on Friday. But I thought I would get these hexes on, because it's the best way not to lose the parts. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it was warm here today. I on my lunch break, I ran the 38.6 mile an hour rock crawler. Kelly put out a video today on his pre-runner from the beach, our favorite beach, and it looked good. It did look good. So I'm just getting these axles ready. Now that I got all the bits, hexes, diff cover, all that. I can't believe it's tomorrow. I went to the convenience store once the kids went to bed, got me a couple sodas. I don't keep 12 around because I'll drink them all. And the guy that works there, I like him. He's nice. And he's probably my age-ish. And I'm like, man, I swear, when we were kids, the whole place would shut down for the holidays. And now, I mean, everything's open all the time. They're going to be open tomorrow. That convenience store, gas station is going to be open tomorrow. Seems crazy. I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like the whole world used to shut down for holidays. For Honda days. So that's what's up. So I'm just noodling around. Ron Jeremy, what up? Merry Christmas to you. Anybody get themselves anything fun for Christmas tomorrow? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's usually me and Kelly, and it's a blast, but it wasn't going to happen today because things have going on. But we'll probably get some more guys here in a minute. Who knows? And if we don't, that's okay, too. All right. 2 axles. I have a lot of links. Flapping Lips, what up? 2 axles completely left over. I need to mark them because the rear axle is a 27/8, and I know it. Yeah, even on Sunday, it was hard to get gas. Now, stuff's open on the holidays. Flapping Lips, Merry Christmas, dude. Did the boys get done over at Harley and Matt's? 27/8. So that's a fasty. And I know it. Clap your hands. I got wheel nuts and hexes. Oh my goodness. And the best way not to lose things is to put them on where they go. So that's what I'm doing. I remember the guys at the marathon pumping the gas for us and washing the windows. They'd ask you to pop the hood and check the oil. It was fantastic. Fantastic. So a long time ago, I bought a Tamiya Bronco body. So I have a little 2-door body that maybe I'll put on something someday. Let's take a look at this body really quick. It's little compared to two-door Bronco. Come on, man. Where's my tape? I always have a tape measure. So the wheelbase on this, holy smokes. It's like 10 inches. $257 millimeters. What is that in inches? Gosh. Yeah, it's like 9 and it's like 10. Looks like it's 10 inches wheelbase when everything else is like a 12.3. So that's 2 inches shorter, 2 and some change. Shorter wheelbase. But I think it'll be perfect to use up some of the stuff I have. And I think maybe that's what I'll do eventually. I'll have to figure out how to make a short chassis, but I think I can do it. And it'll be nice for some of my smaller wheels and stuff. Maybe I'll make the Bronco from Lost, the one Jack had. Chris, what up? Merry Christmas. Yes. Christmas Eve. Let's go. Yeah, late tonight, but that's all right. I got 38.6 out of my lightning bug that I put the 24/8 diff gear in last night and the 40-tooth spur back on. So that means I think I'll be happy with it on 2S because 38's unnecessary. And I ran smaller tires on it. Yeah, dude, on a 2-wheel drive rock crawler, 38.6 miles an hour is killer. I put the smaller Bajas on it because they don't balloon as bad. So if I had the right size tires on there, I got a stiffer set of Patagonias with way dual stage thicker foams, and it'll be faster with those on there. I wanted to run those Bajas though to clean them up and to break them in a little bit on the road. There's so many cars though in the road though today. It was hard to get a couple runs on it. You actually have to almost get off of the steering because anything is resistance. I got one run that was 37.5 and one that was 38.6. The Baja Ray tire. Actually, I have Tenacity tires that would work without blowing up, ballooning as well. But yeah, I have enough links. The only thing I think I really need, and I could cut a chassis down. And the base camp chassis are adjustable. We always make them the way they say to, which gives you the 12.3. But there is some stuff you can do. And you could always drill your own holes too if you wanted to shrink it. That way your front end and back end are still the same with the cross members and the bumper mounts. So that's something to explore. But I have shock towers left over because of these pre-runners. So the only thing I really need to make another crawler is the chassis rails, skid plate, and the servo tray that goes on the front of these base camps. And I can make whatever. Some of the stuff, I don't know if it's out there 3D printable. If it is, I'll print it. But just having the stuff that works is cool too. But yeah, pretty excited about getting to that sometime. But yeah, I've had this Tamiya body for a while. And it came with a bunch of like chromed out elements that you'll put on there. I'll have to black them out or something because they're too shiny, but whatever. I've got 2 extra front axles and I bought 1 extra rear. So the extra rear is what we put on number 1 last night. Jerry, Merry Christmas, dude. That Ryan STA is looking awesome. How's that coming? Holler at me if there's any. I know we did a 3D printed battery tray for the Kristen Eagle. If there's anything for that STA, man, let me know if there's anything you need. But yeah, that's what's going on, man. Not a lot. I just kind of got in here after the day and I did what I wanted to, which was just kind of finish these axles off. I have extra drive shafts too. So the transmission's what I don't have. But I think there's got to be some aftermarket Amazon deal. Make a 4-wheel steer rig. I thought about that. And I'm in the same boat there too. Like I could buy like the Capra cage or something, and the skid plate and probably make it work. I do have enough links laying around now too, because you take so many off to do the pre-runner. Out of all the links that are on that rig, you only keep 2 in the back. Worked on it today. Nice. Yeah. What's the wingspan on that? Like 80? Servo and axle mounts. For a 4-wheel steer, that'd be great. I haven't been jonesing for a 4-wheel steer rig, but I've got the stuff. I'm thinking the short wheelbase thing may not be a bad idea. Part of why that SCX 30 does so good is because there's no room to even get to the middle. It's going to climb over everything. And in a way, that's kind of a neat idea. 71. What'd I say? 72? Tomato. Yeah, that thing's gorgeous, bro. That thing's neat and it probably flies good. Those things look very much like a PT-19. Slight differences, but kind of same lineage, time frame, so to speak. very much seems to be. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Tell me in the chat. We watch a bunch every Christmas. The T28 motor, that's good. That'd work. ESC2 or one rated the same. That big T28's fantastic. Yeah, that's a solid power system. That'll probably move that Ryan STA really well. Is that STA lighter? I bet it doesn't. I bet it's lighter than the T28 almost. Elf's a good one. We watched some classics. We watched White Christmas tonight. We usually watch It's a Wonderful Life, I think, tomorrow. They do the National Lampoon's one with Chevy Chase. The Santa Clauses, right? Christmas Carol. Yep, we did that one. Home Alone already, yes. We've seen Home Alone 1 and 2 already 2 or 3 times a piece. Yeah. It's cool. It's fun. Die Hard is the one Christmas movie we haven't done. Like them all. Madhouse, what up? R7MQ, Merry Christmas to you as well. Yeah, you guys know some of the stuff I have. If you have any questions on something, if you want to nerd out on anything, I'm game. I was going to tell you that earlier this week. You guys, I'll tell you now because I can do it later. But like, you really should go comment on a regular YouTube video though. But this is what I'm offering to you guys. Like an airplane tutorial, okay? And right now, it's easy for me to do a lot of tech stuff more than fly it. So I would say, think about a tutorial you would like. Adjustable gains, flap setup from scratch, factory reset, update, whatever. AS3X safe. I don't know. Any kind of airplane kind of techie question tutorial that isn't completely weird that you think would be helpful to more than just you. Let me know. And so whatever, I would like to say there's a criteria for this, but there's not. So I'll pick the one that I want to do. Reverse thrust, differential thrust, any of that. That's a good one. And you should go check out an old video and make a comment because I'll see it. I'll see it. So whatever I get the most questions for or recommendations for, I'll make. Do I think the Flightline P38 needs a stock elevator replaced before flying? No. But if you think it does, then it does. It's one of those things. If you already are suspect on, and look, things happen. They've been thousands of those units sold. So somebody certainly had one fail. And how many people have actually had a failure and wanted to blame it on something? The newest update, we can look at it because I did it already. And we can look at the copy for it, the literature on it, and see what extra it does. I mean, we're already, if you've done the last update or the last 2 updates before this one, you already have AS3X Plus. And my overall opinion is if your stuff works and you're happy and you're not missing anything, don't fix it if it's not broke. But some people keep up with all that. I at this point in my life, I do all the updates so I know what I'm talking about. Because I end up needing to talk about it at least once a day, usually. So I like to keep up on it so I know what I'm talking about. But up to my own accord, I'm not doing it unless I'm missing something. I went for years and years without registering or doing updates. But then reverse thrust and forward programming came around, and so I did it. Otherwise, let it be, is kind of my advice. The latest update, that is something we can pull up, actually. There should be a little bit of language. Let's just say NX10. Let me pull it up and see if the change logs tell us what this new one does. It may be I need to check an email to see what it does. But let me pull it up here first, and then I'll share screen. NX10. Which is basically NX10, NX8, NX7E. Even the IX radios are going to have similar updates. Let's see if they put anything in here. December 16th. All right. We'll pull up this document and look at it. So yeah, when you do the update, what you do is if you do it over Wi-Fi, for example, you're going to get the update file option, and then you're going to see 2 fact files, FACT, 3 actually. One of them says it's for Blade Helis, one of them's for E-Flight, one of them says OTH. So other, I imagine. I said yes to one of the fact files, and then I go looking through my bind and fly model presets, and now I have duplicates of a bunch of them. So in any of the new planes that are AS3X Plus, it's going to ask you when you bind it, as long as you have an updated radio, if you want that file anyway. So I would say if you're doing the update, you don't necessarily need to also download those fact files or accept them. So just do the update. Yeah, and there's always swap meets and stuff too. What's up, Francis? Anyone have any experience with the Radio Master R88 receivers? Are they any good? I don't, but I'm sure people do. Does the 80 millimeter F-14 fly better than the 64 millimeter from Freewing? I am not sure. I haven't flown either. I kind of would look at wing loading if I was wanting to know what flew better. The lighter the wing loading is, the better it's going to fly, period. So sometimes, though, a bigger airplane may not have the lighter looking wing loading, but because of its size, it's going to feel a little better. But generally, its wing loading is what I'd say is going to help determine the character and also the complexity of the model. If it's easier to set up the 64 and you don't want to mess with the 80. Francis, yeah, I got 38.6 miles an hour out of it today on a little bit smaller tires. Yeah, 38.6. Keith, yeah. And that's why some guys just don't do it. Or they'll wait and make sure they're happy with it all before they do do it because they want to make sure the bugs are worked out. So like I say, if you're happy with your stuff, I'm not fixing it unless I need to fix it. It's kind of my thing. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. But let's pull up this doc and see what it says. Okay. It's just weird what I'm looking at here. Okay. So December 16th, 2025. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah, I think you are. 4.02. I'm going to read it. So changes are in comparison to version 4.10 alpha. 01 alpha. This changelog is available online, and there's where. Updates to the bind and fly folders may be downloaded using the check for updates option on the Wi-Fi menu, except for NX7E, or using your browser from the bind and fly folder at this address. Added forward programming support for receiver version 3.4. Eliminated speech hesitation in the telemetry warning screen. Improved translations on some forward programming screens. Corrected exported names with special characters such as the quote in them. Recover better from canceling, delete all models. And make more improvements to help prevent the same sort of data corruption from occurring in normal operation. I'll say this too. As far as file corruption, it's generally when you're trying to transfer files. If you don't do this stuff, you're not going to have that issue. Fixed position of OK, highlight on validate all models. Added a slash to the 0 character to improve readability in some fonts. Frame rate screen now follows the channel display better. Changes to frame rate and visual preferences screen to affect channel count display. Changed RF holds alarm to match the IX method. The alarm is now greater than rather than greater than or equal to. As a result, if using hold alarms, a value change may be required. Vario no longer goes silent at extreme rates of ascent or descent. This was due to the Vario module trying to generate tones beyond those allowed for. Now what happens is the highest lowest tone is played instead of those out of range. Corrected inability to power off properly when in student mode with a wired trainer. Except in NX7E, the power off vibe may be configured on the preferences screen as part of the power off confirmation options. The multi-cylinder telemetry sensor status screen no longer moves the lower portion of the screen periodically. The servo reverse screen when using the 6-channel monitor now properly shows 6 channels at the top and positions the edit boxes properly on them. Corrected 2-position trimmer display in the logical switch setup screen now shows only the 2 applicable columns. When editing text using the keyboards other than Legacy, you will now no longer need to click the roller a second time to start editing and will only need a single back to exit the edit mode. The Legacy keyboard remains unchanged. Corrected position of highlights when on the sub-trim screen with 14 channels displayed. Change the default monitor format to show 1 through 12 instead of 13 through 20. This also provides more uniform access to the 1 through 12 versus 13 through 20. Mini monitor at the bottom of screens. When the model database gets corrupted, the radio would sometimes get stuck on the Spectrum logo. The database now does a quick integrity check during boot And if it finds an issue, it will attempt to correct it automatically, preventing the hang up. Updated the heli trim screen, setup screen to provide per axis flight mode versus common settings. Notice new column of F flight mode or C common. Improved support. This sounds like a big one. And for some people, this is going to be great. Not seeing anything I need in this. I don't do voice. And I'm able to make my radio do what I want it to now. The channel, you notice none of this has anything to do with primary flight controls, right? You're fine on that. Logical switches and comma switches are now fully available as switch options without requiring a power cycle of the radio. Channel assign screen could in some instances display dashes instead of the yaw axis name in multi-rotor mode. Yeah, man. This is all. When a radio is logged into your MySpectrum account, you no longer need to use the QR code to download an update. I did this last time. The on the fly for the right elevator was not working correctly due to a sign change on the display. It now functions as intended. Corrected names of auxiliary channels and forward programming screens to match the new name format. Yeah, man. There's a lot. It did. A lot. And that was almost the end of it. So sound related changes, of course, except the NX7E flight mode, restored flight node names. Fred, what up? To the Acro system menu, properly capture fast boot alarms from stabilized receivers and clear the alarm and re-trigger if another fast boot occurs. When attempting to create a 12-channel assigned aircraft, it was not possible to have both a 6-servo wing and a dual rudder elevator tail at the same time. This is now corrected and will allow proper selection. Improve fault handling during forward programming sessions and STF downloads. Hardly any of this is I need. The flight mode selection box did not highlight the correct areas for all configurations. Telemetry log was not always closed properly when a model was changed or shut down, which could result in loss of data or corrupt the internal card's FAT table. It now closes properly. When the ESC causes a voltage alarm, it will not try to speak current status or temperature status if no data is available. Added new forward programming support for 3.4 receivers. Sound-related changes. So if you just if you want to check this out for yourself, all you got to do is go to horizonhobby.com, click on your radio, NX10, NX8, IX, whatever, and it'll be there with the manuals. Like when you click the parts and support, and it gives you the PDFs for the manual, the airwear change logs is what that document was. And you can see the list of all the changes. Some updates aren't very big. That's a pretty big one in a way. And that's nothing to really speak of those new folders they offer you. So if you're a Blade Heli guy and you want more presets in your radio, you can say yes to that fact file for Blade. Yes, sir, Jerry. And that's the thing. Where I speak from is opinion. So you guys got to do what's right for you. Some of you guys like some of that stuff that I don't really use. And in that case, yeah, man, do it. It sounds like that's a big one. They did a lot. I did the update because I want to know how to help folks when I come across it, because I come across it. So it's nice to know. Literally, when aux 2 changed to aux 7, someone was telling me that, and I was like, "What?" I had to do it myself to realize, oh yeah, that happened. You're not crazy. That happened. You're not crazy. Yeah, Fred's on the witness. Don't tell. Shh. Witness protection program. What else you guys want to look at online? Or what? Ask me anything Christmas Eve. Honestly, if I mess around, it's going to be Christmas. Shoot, it's 11:30 my time. Check out Kelly's video. He took his new fast pre-runner to the beach. Go over there, check out when you get a chance. Check out, it's not long. KKRC 76. He did a video on his new fast Megalodon pre-runner at our favorite beach. It's a smooth beach. And his thing looked pretty fast. It looked fast. Meat servo, that's a great question. Jerry, that's a great question. I honestly, I have so many planes. I can always, in cars too, trucks, I can always pine over the next thing. I have enough to keep my hands busy. I've got a printer. So I'll answer these questions because there are things that I got my eyes on, but I'm also content. Now, for airplanes, I used to get them all. I don't now, and that's cool. I do have the new Twin Otter 1.4. I can't wait to fly. I've had the Sportix. It's fun. The T6, I do much enjoy and want that. I have the old one, but mine is so custom. I just want to let it hang. But I want to fly that new one and rip the snot out of it. And what's interesting is the designers mixed in a little bit of up elevator with the yaw to counter the down coupling. And I want to try that out. And then I want to take that out. And I could show how to do it. It's going to be an update or a factory reset on the receiver, and then you could do it. So also, I want to bounce those questions right back to you guys, and you guys can all tell me too in the chat. But Meat Servo asked me what I want for Christmas. So I've got a list. I'll just say it. More filament, always. H10 optic. Boom Racing leafer. Those are both kits. I got my hands on the Guillemot right now. I'm going to have to give it back. The T6. I think the airliner looks awesome, but I already know like my favorite thing would just be to land it. Like, and our field runways are not the greatest for that. So, and my affinity for the T6 is just extra and special. So like, that's one I would, definitely dig on getting myself. Meat Servo, you got the optic kit. Nice. Bro, I actually put the optic, Horizon has some Vanquish stuff, but it looks like most of it's out of stock. I was going to buy the optic they had, but it's out of stock. So, I mean, I could always maybe get a kit somewhere else. But again, I've got enough to keep me busy. But that's kind of my answer. I think really quick off the draw. I could use a couple more batteries. I kind of do want floats for the 1.4 Twin Otter when those come around. Yeah, I mean, if money's no object, then I'm liking the H10 Origin. See, I would get the H10 Optic and get the 3D print files for the Porigin, which have those nice looking lines that make it look like an Origin, but it's not. So that would be neat. So yeah, H10 Optic, kit or RTR, I don't care. Jackson, what up? You got an optic kit new in box you'd sell? Want to trade it for a Portal Phoenix? You put mall floats on your 1.4 Twin Otter? Sick. They fit? That's cool to know. Yeah. The Boom Racing is a hot looking kit. And the Capo kits I've seen look really nice too. So yeah, you already got a Portal Phoenix in new box. That's fun. So yeah, what am I missing? So H10 Optic, Origin. I think a mullet would be fun to do. Dave Moore, do I like the SMC HV packs over Spectrum G2? Honestly, I have a loyalty with the Spectrum stuff because I just worked with them for so long where when they were sending me planes to review, they sent batteries too. And so I just have a lot of Spectrum stuff already. So I'm cool with it because of that. And when I had the hobby shop, I had access to my own supply. And so it was easy. Shelvers than runners. Yeah. So I could see that. But yeah, dude. So pencil, you'll put your eye out, kid. So yeah, man, H10 Optic. I've built 4 base camps and pre-runners at this point. I'm kind of cool on those. Flapping lips. Yeah, I know. Some of us had it worse than others. I fairly well behaved. And then whatever I did get my hands on, for the most part, I used it to make marketing content and then sold it at the shop as a demo. Somebody got a deal. What's up, David? Merry Christmas. Oh, wow. All right, Jerry. See you later. Merry Christmas, dude. Yeah, man. I've been seeing a clipped wing Cub around that looks really cool, and it's a wood plane. I don't even know if it's available, but that thing looks awesome. But yeah, I like the T6. I like the idea of the little ultra micro erratics, to be honest, as well. Would you run 4S batteries in the Aero 64s? If those ESCs aren't rated for it, then no. I know people do, I think. But I would... Listen, if it's been able to be done successfully by a number of people, you're making a fairly educated bet there. So you got to make that call on your own. But like, if it's been reported by numerous people that they're getting along okay with 4S, then I'd probably be willing to kind of take that gamble. I'd be a little nervous with high C 4S packs, but I mean, the amp draw will tell you everything, except on the bench it lies. ESC shows 3 to 4S. What's the motor say? So that's one thing that happens with products sometimes, where like the components may be rated for a higher voltage, but the electronically, but some of the let's say driveline bits, or some of it may not be rated for it. So like the first laser nuts were on paper okay to run 4S, but in reality, it was just way too much for that vehicle. And even these SEX6s can run 4S if you look at the power systems, but for the longevity of the drivetrain and the physical components, it's not a great idea. However, again, after so much time with the product has been around for long enough where there's a bunch of people who have survived that abuse, it's kind of like, I think I can probably do it. So I actually ran my SCX6 on 4S last weekend, and it was fine. When are we going to see a model F47? Is she okay? The dog. Are you? Are you done with Christmas stuff? Are you so excited? Are you going to lock her out? You are a bad dog mom. I'll get her. Merry Christmas. Are you so embarrassed you're on TV? Forever. I don't know what an F47 is. Top secret. New. So those are some of the things that I like for Christmas. The boom racing kits are super scale and beautiful. They are leaf spring or not. And the bodies on them, they have this truck. It's called a Zill, which sounds goofy, but it looks like an old school American truck, but it's like an old school European truck. And it's pretty gorgeous. Sixth generation. Yeah. I'm just not familiar. But yeah, some power systems, servos, little things like that. I got my tires all switched around on a bunch of these vehicles. And I got this LC80 dressed up in the Goodyear MTRs that I've been wanting to put on it for a while. And I just want to either figure out how to do the drag brake with the FMS equipment or change it. I only run my SX6 Twin 4S. Yeah, nice. She wants nothing to do with y'all, by the way. Let me get this dog. Merry Christmas, dog. Sci-fi. The closest thing to sci-fi I want is an F-22. If you ask me. The dog must have been bugging. She never makes a peep, but you can tell if she can't rest, she's got to go. Yeah, man. I mean, that's my thing. What needs upgraded? Servos? I have had tremendous success leaving them alone. Now, I used to upgrade the wheels a lot. The dual 40 millimeter F22 trainer looks nice. Big F22, any F22, but yeah, dude, F22s are nice. A big one, I mean, the 90's a good size, but man, like Carbon Z F22, bruh, I'd have to have it. I'd have to have it because, man, like my Rafale is my favorite high alpha jet, but the second favorite is the F22. And if there was a bigger one than the 90 and it wasn't, you know, it was Horizon, you know, I'd be into it. I'd be into it. They fly good, bro. I did like my MiG-21. Yeah, man, the tire thing, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if they're afraid of them digging in. I mean, there's something about the imperfect angles of axles and stuff where a hard tire actually will just skid instead of dig, and it lets you get away with less than perfect toe in or whatever. But I like soft tires too. And even if you have suspension, it's still nice having a little bit softer. I put the softer tires on the in aerofoam like Banana Hobby though, or like nitro planes. So that's probably it. Like I've been a snob about brands for so long, where there's some I just have not done. And I mean, I remember working with HSD back in the day when aerofoam came out, and it seemed like a dollar store version of the HSD stuff to me at the time. And so I didn't mess with it, but I'm sure it's not bad. And anything, I mean, look, you can make anything work if you're willing to do the work of upgrades and stuff. I mean, some of you guys have some fantastic dynams, right? Which should say everything. Yeah, I think it does save the airframe when you have, not only is it the coolest, scalest upgrade you could do, but yeah, it does keep you from beating up your airframe. And I feel like your retracts and the mounts and all that stuff last longer when you have suspension. That's what's neat about that GB. That GB has suspension hidden in those wheel pants. I don't really look at free wing graph. I'm sorry, I have no idea. I think if you want a turbine, get a turbine. So for me, the idea of making a foamy conversion, now there's some foamies that are turbine ready, which makes a little more sense to me. Just ordered the Dynam T33. I hope that's awesome for you. The T33 is a fun one. Almost no matter what shape or size it comes in. I've flown a few of them. I like them. I don't know anything about that one, but it's still T33 at the end of the day. Yeah, Francis. The only problem with the big F22, nice and light on the loading, is that people it'll slow down fast, especially if it's light, you know, on the loading. That's not awful, but it would get some people in trouble. Freewing 80 and soon the 70 T33. Oh, sick. I've flown the HSD T33. You can see videos of it here on the channel. And I ripped the snot out of the Freewing T33, but I don't think I filmed it. But it's good. And I bet you love the 70 because the 70 is going to be a little lighter. on the wing loading. So sitting there between the 64 and the 80, it depends. Some people like heavy feeling planes, and sometimes I do. I feel like a Warbird actually ought to feel kind of heavy. I've flown a bunch of different size Spitfires, and the ones that feel heavier seem more honest. Oh, dude, the F-22 is totally going to fly like a big Delta wing. Yeah. And that's what's nice about it. But that's also, you get that nose up, it's slowing down. As one of the first things I noticed when I flew the 90 was like, oh, wow, this will slow down. Yeah. The big planes are a little bit easier these days generally to break down and get places. And that's one of the things about the aerofoam early on, where the HSD had these really slick connections where you didn't have to mess with any wires, but the aerofoam stuff seemed to be a spaghetti nest. It's probably better now. I haven't looked at them. I mean, if you're me, you're going to work with the people who send you stuff rather than pay full ticket. Sorry. I mean, that's why I started in the magazine business years ago. I couldn't afford all this stuff. I still can't. Yeah, like a pancake hitting the ceiling. Absolutely. And that's the nice thing about it. If you got the thrust, oh, you can push high alpha so well on that one. My only complaint about the 90 was there wasn't any lights on it. And I thought it was a little weird that the ankles had the pivot on them. Seemed unnecessary. I mean, I worked for it. When I was doing it, I worked for it. But yeah, it is a trade-off. I mean, it still costs you something, but it cost me something I could afford, which was a little time. This 14-year-old is eating me out of the house, bro. F-15 and F-22 have similar qualities. I think they could. If you can get the wing loading to match up, I think they would feel similar. I did not really enjoy the F4 in a way. I like its history, of course, but to fly it, I wasn't a huge fan. And then the F-22 is amazing. The F-22 is the only 90 millimeter jet that I would fly in a school parking lot because I could land it so slow. But the F-18 felt like it was in between on wing loading and feel. It felt in between the F-22 and the F4. And the F-15 is nice. It definitely is nice. Ankles because of how retracted to surface rather than into body. But I remember checking out that F-22, and from what I remember looking at this at that time, I was like, well, it didn't need to do that. They could have done a little bit something different in the wheel well and not had to do that at all. The F4, it's kind of like officially a Delta, but that tail is weird, dude. So are the facets on the wing. And I probably flew mine too nose heavy, and didn't get to give it a fair shot. It is a brick, bro. Yeah. That's why I feel like bigger, or, if you get the wing loading under control is probably dynamite, the F-15. The F-15 should, for all intents and purposes, be a little better behaved than the F-18. But the F-18 is pretty good. 80 millimeter Mirage. Yeah, man. That was my first Delta Wing. I really flew and high alpha'd around. That was a neat one. I learned a lot on that thing because it was early on for me when first time I flew one, and you don't land them the same as you land a Warbird. And that's where I learned the nose up and push with the throttle, was with the Mirage. That Cougar always looked nice to me, and I bet that Panther is cool. The Panther ought to feel like a T-33, except the horizontal's high. But yeah, I mean, a little more lifting body than the T-33, but similar in a way. There's some things that look like they're going to be similar and they're not. Like you look at a Hellcat and a P-47, they look like they should act the same. They don't. They don't. Grumman, and then elegant. That's the difference. Grumman makes mail trucks. No, there's a good historical Grumman birds for sure, dude. I mean, and then you get into tiger cats and bear cats, and it's like it starts to get a little more elegant. But yeah, the Hellcat really looks very similar, but it did not seem to fly the same for me. Minnesota winners. Yeah, dude, I bet. Well, 3 minutes till Christmas, and I'm going to let you go. Yeah, I want to fly. I've been saying that, but I do. I still do. It's hard to make it happen. And I just have to get over myself. Like, I'm not going to be able to make super good videos with it. So that's why I'm like, I've done a bunch of tutorials on airplanes this year, but really not a lot of flying. Merry Christmas to you as well. Stay cool, hanger rats. BD-10. Looks like a MiG and a Viper jet. Had a hot daughter. The MiG-17 was cool. I'm sure the MiG-15 is too. It seemed like the MiG-17 had a little more wing area. That one actually flew neat. And it was a Hobby King one before it was whatever else it is branded as now. But it's like a 48-inch wingspan on an EDF is pretty good. Pretty good. Yes. I'll get to see what I bought the kids tomorrow morning. I don't know what I got the kids until I see them open it half the time. That's how it goes, so it's okay. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow for sure. It's weirdly warm around here right now. We had a bunch of snow and it's like all gone now. So I'm kind of hoping for some fresh powder to get out in the woods. When we went out in the woods last weekend, I hat cammed it, but I didn't selfie stick film any of it. So I haven't put it out. But it was after week or two of thaw and freeze. It was pretty rough. The fresh powder looks so nice though with these trucks, especially the big sixes in the snow, man. The Trepidors did amazing on the big Chevy. I beat that Chevy up. We went off trail. All I had to do was glue a bumper back on. Yeah, the Aerofoam 90 millimeter MiG 17 was the Hobby King MiG 17, and it's a good one. It lands nice. On mine, my aileron linkages were a little long, and I ended up having a little bit of reflex on the ailerons, and it was amazing that way. And then I snipped them short and fixed the reflex, and I don't think it was as good. So I put the reflex back in it. Little bit of up ailerons on that thing. Seemed to be the ticket. It seemed to help prevent stalls, because that thing will let you get slow. I don't know. I could be crazy, but I remember it had a little bit of reflex because of the long rods, and I built it like that and flew it like that. There's videos on the channel from back when that Hobby King thing was new, and we had a ball with it. I even had problems with the servo, but I didn't let it ruin my day, and I called it out in the video. I just replaced it. Big deal. And it was fine. But yeah, the reflex, I liked it. I took it out, and I didn't like it as much. Still great. And I think I put it back in. It's a good one, dude. It's a good one. And it's a nice wheelie one. It'll really slow down. 48-inch wingspan on a lightweight EDF. And it's hard to beat those shapes, those early jets, very similar to an F86. So, I mean, it's basically a warbird with a jet engine through the middle. Some of the first swept wing stuff that we ever, saw. So, pretty neat. I remember BD5s from air shows. Dude, they were the silver bullet. Coors had one. It was a bullet for sure. And says Merry Christmas to everybody. Addictions are great. Yes. I have enjoyed RC. That's for sure. That's for sure. Right now, I've been reading. I always wanted to read the whole Bible. I never have. But I started doing it a few weeks back. And that's been really great, I got to say. I started with the New Testament. So when I'm done with that, I'll start with the beginning. That's been good. Very, 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 very good. Guys, Merry Christmas. It's officially that time here. 12:03. We got the Wednesday show in. Thanks for coming by. Just nerding out a little bit. Loving to get to talk about planes. Yeah, Dave. I've realized a couple things. What's great about that book is so many of those stories I know from being a little kid. But the whole thing gives you all the context around it, for one thing. But even though you know the story from being 5 years old, man, it's alive where it can mean something to you different now than it did then. It's good. And one thing I'll just say, I could go on and on and on about it though, But one thing I'll say, be willing to, I think everybody who's interested should definitely make the time to do it, because I think the benefit from making the time to do it may far outweigh your ability to actually maybe understand what's happening. Because I think I start in my mind where I'm like, okay, I want to do this so I understand it. I want to know what I'm talking about. But I mean, we're not really necessarily supposed to rely upon our own understanding anyway. So I think when you read it, it's the spending the time in the word is the benefit. If you understand, great, but just doing it is tremendously beneficial, whether you understand it or not. And I don't think there's anything wrong with reading it again. I don't think there's anything wrong with bouncing all over the place to gather context, because it's like the first hyperlinked text that's still valid. It backs itself up all over the place, forward and back. That's really neat. But I would say, I'm telling this to myself, I'm not completely, if I don't understand it, I'm okay with that. I want to understand, but it's okay if I don't, because there's some intrinsic benefit for doing it in the first place. And that's super cool. That's super cool. There's certain customs of the day too that I think there's a lot to. I actually grew up on the King James, so I kind of miss the thee and thou. I'm doing the NIV right now, but I would totally read King James next time. And there's translations and all kinds of arguments can be had. The Catholic Bible has more books in it than Protestant. There's so much you can do. But I don't think most of them all at the core, the cross is the crux of it all, right? And the resurrection. So if you get that, you got what you need. The rest could be an argument over this or that, definitions, whatever. But like understanding some of the customs of the day, that makes it super interesting too, because there's things that you read or learned me as a kid that it's like, that's a funny way to speak. But when you realize the context of that time, everybody then would have known what analogy he meant by choosing those words to say. Things about taking the cup, things like this speak to wedding ceremonies. So everyone around him at that time would have understood that that kind of phrasing in words was an analogy for the church being the bride of Christ and so on. And there's those kinds of little things. Talk about Easter eggs, right? They're all in it, all over. And there's tons of echoing and prophetic statements in the Old Testament that echo to what went down in the New, and then the New will refer back to the Old and tie it together. It's cool, man. It's cool. And for me, it's been something that's been, I've wanted to do it for a long time, but always found a reason to not make the time. And so I'm making the time, and it's been hugely beneficial for me. And I think at the end of the day, I know a lot about RC, but fat lot of good that's going to do me in eternity. So I'm just trying to be, learn, and hopefully do a better job of being who he wants me to be, actually. Yeah, man. So anybody got questions about this? Anybody gets mad by hearing this conversation? You're exactly the kind of person I would like to talk to, because no judgment here, man. Just sharing. It's all, when people say testimony, that's what they mean. It's not any kind of judgment. And if you hear someone speak about these types of things and you feel some kind of way about it, it's that's okay. It's like being convicted by it, because maybe there's a longing inside of you that wants to understand some of that, or grab a hold of this free gift, which is offered to us through his death and resurrection, which is the ultimate best gift you could receive. And for me, I feel like I've been lazy about it, honestly, my whole life, in a way. And I mean, honestly, if we truly love people, man, you would want them to know what they're missing. And I don't want to, we're all so careful about offending folks. I'm not trying to, but man, truly, I think when you understand it, it does make sense that it's okay to be uncomfortable, because it is the good news, right? It's the good news. And it's his birthday, right? Tomorrow is, Christmas. So it's good. It's good stuff. Anyway, talking about the RC comment, I love being able to nerd out on it. I love having something to do. But personally, I feel like I've given a lot to it and put it in a way first. And that's kind of ridiculous. And that's my fault. So, yeah. Seek ye first the kingdom. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. And we're living in this world that is on purpose full of distraction. And it's not by mistake. So you kind of got to be on purpose about it. And it's worth it. I love you. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time. No countdown. Merry Christmas. Good night.